Metera's Dash Heavy and Dash M both have their travel speed and distance increased. This is what they look like now. Even though it takes the same number to cross the full screen, you can definitely tell that there is a significant difference in their gaps that they cover. So this means that they're a little more viable to throw out a neutral and potentially connect with the opponent. The high and low ultimate version of Starry Sky now causes a wall bounce when near the corner. This improves her ability to convert from close to the corner positions. Compare that to before. Additionally, they also made it so that both of these versions have a lateral knockback increase and have wall bounce even in mid-screen on counter hit. This is how it behaved before. Compare that to now. Great. This has great implications for her neutral. Now if she's able to punish an opponent for throwing out a fireball, she's able to add on more damage. Any damage that Metera can get from a full screen position is great for her. Her forward Midair Starry Sky has its startup reduced by 3 frames, going down from 22 to 19. In addition to that, the fall speed after attacking has been accelerated, reducing the overall recovery time. Compare that to before. Nowhere near as much frame advantage as she had before. Depending on the height and the interaction, it might be possible for her to actually link into some close attacks after this. In fact, you can, but only on counter hit. Great. Still, this is a nice little buff for Metera. I don't think this will come up too often within a match, but it's still nice to have reduced recovery on any of your moves. And the fact that Metera could potentially jump in at an opponent and punish their attempt to annihilate her and get a little more damage on it will go a long way for her in the long run, I think. The backwards version of Starry Sky in the midair as well also had its recovery time reduced by having the fall speed accelerated. Again, any means for her to be filling the screen with more projectiles I think is good. The light and medium version of the Great Fall saw some damage reductions overall, but in return for that, they also had reduced recovery and a reduced overall duration, making them far more safer to throw out within neutral itself. The falling projectile hit stop is also reduced by 5 frames, going down from 10 frames to 5 frames for both versions of the move. Let's go ahead and look at the light version first. Now the medium. This is how it behaves in the current patch. And here's how they used to look. While the damage loss is something to kind of be a little down about, I think making these moves safer overall to throw out so that you might actually be able to use them from neutral to control the opponent from different angles might be something that makes it overall worthwhile to have. The heavy version also saw some reduction to its damage overall. That being said, the initial vertical hitbox was expanded, so now Metera is able to chain a triple attack into heavy Great Fall against all standing foes. Before, it would miss like this. Here's how it behaves now. Metera will appreciate the consistency for having this be a potential launcher route for her, even if the individual hits of the arrows themselves do a little less damage, about 50 each overall, so you're losing out on about 200 damage. Still, being able to combo on characters you couldn't before, that is an increase in potential damage overall for her, so I think she'll take the trade-off. The light and medium versions of her Ethereal Seals had their midair hit stun massively increase, up from 22 frames all the way up to 60 frames. With this means she's going to be able to pretty much link anything at a distance that she wants to for this. Compare that to before. As you can see, the opponent recovers incredibly high in the air, whereas now, in the current patch, they fall pretty close to the ground. This is going to open up a couple of opportunities for Metera to benefit from catching the opponent out in the air with these moves. The last change she got was her ultimate Ethereal Seal. The hit count has been increased from 1 to 3. The total damage dealt is the same, with the first hit dealing 1,500 and the other two dealing 500 each, totaling out to 2,500 damage. While the duration of the butterfly has been reduced down from 480 frames to 300 frames, so a total of 5 seconds, the butterflies now no longer disappear upon taking damage, which is big for Metera to maintain her offense once she commits her SBA gauge into this move before. Great. Before she was plus 20 on block. This gives her now plus 41 frames of advantage on block. This means that she's going to be able to use her unique skill to create even more dangerous mix-up scenarios with extra layers to them on a potential block hit. Additionally, she's going to also be able to get better confirms from aerial hits overall. Metera's change list was pretty short overall, basically making it so that it's easier for her to pollute the screen with projectiles. She gets more reward for some of her far screen pokes, especially when she's calling out the opponent in neutral and able to get a successful counter hit, while also making her seals far more effective at giving her good rewards against airborne opponents. Part of Metera's game plan is to zone the opponent out, and so sometimes they're going to have to take to the skies in order to try to jump and get close to her. Being able to get more damage against airborne opponents means that she's able to more effectively play the zoning game style before. I don't think she's going to rise up in the tier list at all. I still think that she's going to be one of the weaker characters in the game, but she should be more functional and fun to play for some players. But we'll see what a player like Professor Nicotech can do with her going forward.